Here are all the new features coming to Apple CarPlay with iOS 18. Since CarPlay is just your iPhone running on an external display, as your phone updates, so does CarPlay. I've got my iPhone updated, so let's hop in the Jeep and check it out. Kicking things off, we have Siri. Apple's digital assistant will be getting a big makeover thanks to Apple Intelligence, but there are new features you can enjoy right now. When you ask Siri for sports scores, there's a new UI that appears on screen. It's more compact and sits here at the bottom, just above the Siri animation. Here's the score of the latest Guardians game. Okay, yeah, we don't need to look at that part. A similar UI appears for weather too. Here's weather in Seabus, Ohio today. I like this a lot more than before. You'll see later in the video that this updated Siri UI gets used a few times for different things. With iOS 18, Siri is now bilingual. That means you can converse with her in multiple languages. This is especially useful for messages where you switch between a couple different languages. As an aside, for vehicles that don't have CarPlay, there is a new feature that helps improve Siri's audio. When you connect to a car that doesn't have CarPlay via Bluetooth, it will give you new Siri response options in settings. It can route audio through the media source and will sound much better. I know a lot of people have been asking for that one. Speaking of Siri settings, Apple did introduce a new Siri icon inside of settings on CarPlay. This looks very much inspired by Apple Intelligence. I wonder if we'll end up getting any more UI changes with the launch of the new Siri in the car or not. Same goes for things like the ChatGPT or other LLM integrations. Will those work in CarPlay? Who knows? Let me know down below in the comments if you're excited for Apple Intelligence or if all this seems just like a bit of a dud. The last thing to look at for Siri is the new Messages UI. When you send someone a message, the compose screen has been tweaked. Let's send a message real quick. Now let's wait for one to come back. As it appears, you may notice the new icon that appears next to the person's name. This is carried over, also showing within the Messages app. I think it definitely looks a lot better and more personalized. Messages are getting a big upgrade in general with iOS 18, including RCS support. Check out my linked video here for the big changes coming to Messages and the rest of your phone. Let's hit pause for just a second so I can thank my sponsor for this video, Wondershare Filmora. As a full-time video producer, I edit a lot of videos. I'm sitting in Final Cut every day knocking out content for YouTube, TikTok, Insta, and AppleInsider.com. While I love Final Cut, it can be kind of overwhelming, even after 2 decades of use. Plus, it isn't really designed for modern social media. Recently, I started playing around with Wondershare Filmora, and it's incredible. It can help you quickly and easily edit videos for everything from a family vacation to product tutorials to portrait-oriented social videos. Here are some of my favorite features so far. It has tons of built-in animated sticker effects. They even have a featured trending section. Arrows, subscribe buttons, emoji, smoke, and so many more. There are video effects to apply to your footage to adjust that final look, and unique effects like light effects, zoom, and super dad. Want to do a chroma key effect? Well, you don't need a green screen. Instead, Filmora has an AI-assisted removal tool to cut out your subject with just a couple clicks. And if you don't want to jump in front of the camera at all, just write a summary and let AI create the entire video for you. Then you can edit that video by adjusting text, style, transitions, and more. There's so much more to do with it, so if you want to try it out, head to the link in the bio. One thing I haven't seen yet that I always mention is the wallpapers. Apple always drops a new set of CarPlay wallpapers, but as of now, we don't have them. You can expect them to probably be added soon though, and they usually match the ones that go on iPhone with the new updates. That brings us to a whole bunch of new accessibility settings that Apple's added. We're going to head into Settings, then Accessibility. First up is color filters. These will help those hard of seeing or that suffer from various degrees of color blindness. It will tint the whole display differently based on the one you choose. There's even a grayscale option. Intensity can be controlled too, with 3 levels to choose from. Backing up a bit, there's a new option to bold text, which works system-wide and makes it easier to read. Voice control is very cool, letting you completely navigate CarPlay with just your voice. I'm going to enable this, and let's head back to the home screen. Open Music. Tab back. tap playlists, tap jams, tap shuffle. Yeah, it's pretty awesome, right? The next accessibility feature is sound recognition. Again, settings, accessibility, sound recognition. Toggle it on, it will identify sirens and horns for you. I'll play a siren here on my second phone and let's see what happens. You'll see the alert at the bottom of the screen in that familiar new UI. Lastly, the sound menu gives you options for automatically putting your phone on silent when you hop in the car. Maybe you usually keep the sound on your phone, but when you're in the car with CarPlay, there's really no need. Alerts show on the display, so this setting will enable silent mode when CarPlay connects. One thing I know many of you have been hoping for is more information about the next generation CarPlay. Apple shared quite a bit about it at its annual dev conference, possibly in an effort to spur adoption. The first cars were expected to come out this year, but so far it's been pretty slim. A few high-end luxury vehicles like Porsche have shown it off, but few mass-market vehicles have been announced. Apple continues work here with iOS 18, showing off the climate app example for the first time, as well as a few other UI points. We also now know that automakers will be able to send custom alerts on this next generation CarPlay. One example is to pop up an alert when your EV is finished charging. It's also possible for automakers to create punch-through apps that show the native UI while still in CarPlay. One example could be showing off the rear view camera and other camera controls. This could definitely cut down on the work that developers need to do to implement next-generation CarPlay. The new CarPlay is coming, and with the cancellation of Apple Car, it seems more important than ever. iOS 18 is going to be released in September as a free update. Be sure you're subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on so you can catch all the latest Apple news.